There we go. Got it.
It's still.
Oh, that's weird. The YouTube even changed. Okay, it says we're live now. Got it. Okay. And it might even be that the YouTube link still worked too somehow. Hopefully. All right. Yeah. We let's see. Don't see you though. Why do I not see you? I see you on my Zoom, but you're not on my. Doesn't make any sense.
Okay.
Okay, you're on Tammy's. Yeah, here we go. Man, all right. Only 12 minutes of shit fuckery from the internet gods and the technology department. So welcome everybody to Collapsing with Casey. I just fired my entire IT department, which is nobody. So I guess I gotta really just fire myself. But finally, thankfully, only 12 minutes late. Efil, Blaise, I want to welcome Efil, Blaise to Collapsing with Casey. We, of course, as many of you know from the channel, I do private Zooms, and we had a big one, and Efil came on and told his story, and he just captivated everybody. There was I was watching everybody's faces in the Zoom link, and they were all just blown away by your story. So it was I was like, man, I got to get this guy on. You got your own channel as well. You go by Blaise. Your YouTube I know is Efil Blaise. You go by Blaise. I think we may know kind of why, but I'll let you tell that story too if you like. But again, welcome Efil. Welcome Blaise. Sorry, Blaise. Let's get into it, man. Tell us about yourself. Where you're from, your background. You are such an intelligent guy at 25. Like it's you I'm almost twice your age, and you know more probably than I do. You're more well traveled than I ever would have been. You're a brilliant dude. You know what's going on, and at only half the age of you're smarter as a kid than most people ever grow to be in their lifetime. Even successful doctors and professors and philosophers and shit. So I think you're a fascinating dude, and I'm excited to for everyone to hear your story.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me here. Like, it's one of the things, right? They say that people are smart, but I use the word instead of, like, when they say doctors, lawyers, and they're not smart. They're just skilled. They have a skill and they're good at their skill. But like being smart or being intelligent is like connecting the dots and being consistent and like going for the full truth, not the half-assed truth, And that's what I do. So basically, like, I was born in Pakistan in a shithole, Oh, it's just overpopulated, religious retards everywhere. You just look around, and it's like these people are just so deep in their ignorance. And this is one of the reasons why I think that religion is madness, because it just gives these people this false reality that yes, somehow it's all it's destined, it's God's plan. Yeah, it doesn't matter that these kids are on the road begging for money. It doesn't matter. It's God's will, and I'm sitting at like, what the fuck? Why would a God do that? What kind of a God would do that? Like, we should go war against that God. But yeah, these, like, I was indoctrinated by my parents, obviously, because like they were in this shit heavily, and it was like the deprogramming was kind of hard at the initial, like when I was 13. It's like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense. Like, but they all say, oh, we're all gonna die in the end. Then I was like, why are you even alive then? If you're all gonna die in the end, what's the point in even continuing this shit? So it's like, and the answers I got were some like bullshit, like God says, or, it's life, life is unfair. You have to deal with it. Be grateful. And like, okay, I'm grateful, but that doesn't solve the problem. That is just, that's just evading the subject of the real problem, that is the suffering that goes on this planet every minute. So like one of the things was they had this, they do sacrifices over there of animals, right? They especially at this Eid event, their tradition in which they basically like buy goats, sheeps, cows, and camels, and they basically like befriend, like you buy them a week before the day they eat there. And like I was a kid, like I loved goats. I was like, yeah, they were so friendly. They were like, I didn't even have to put the leash on them. They just used to follow me around the whole place. And like they became my friends. They trusted me. And this is what they taught me at a very young age, that feed the goat so that the goat gets healthy. And when it's healthy, and on the day we'll slaughter it right in front of you and every other goats. And on that day it's like so sick, blood everywhere, intestines, heads, and these people are barbecuing after that and enjoying and this and that. And I'm like, I'm in an insane asylum. Like, what the fuck is going on here? So that was one of the things when I like deprogrammed myself from this stupid religion, Islam, which is like cancer. I was like, initially I was afraid to come out to my parents, to everyone. I just kept it to myself. And I was like, yeah, I'm stuck here. If I do something, because over there it's like, it's unsafe. You'll be stabbed to death, or they'll burn you alive if you talk about this stuff. Just going against religion, it's like, you're dead. You're a dead man. So I was like, fuck this. I gotta get out of here. And especially when I went vegan, I was like, especially in my family, they were like, no, you have to eat meat. God has commanded us to sacrifice these animals. And I was like, no, I can't even sit with you guys. You people suck. So I basically, after that, like, I have to get out of this shithole as fast as I can. And I'm grateful that I'm out of there now. I'm in Hungary now. I'm studying in this university, and even that the education systems are just so like capitalist bullshit. They're like, oh, you have to pay us fees and then we'll grade you. Like, this is so horseshit. We'll grade you for paying us. It's not like you're studying for free. No, you have to pay us and then go through all this stress of exams and shit. And then we get to decide if you get a degree, if you're eligible, if you're knowledgeable or not. And I'm like, whole system is fucked. There's no, and like what I can do is I be a whistleblower. Basically, this is what I do on my YouTube channel. The basic motive is to be the messenger of reality, to like, because I've lived it. They say that suffering is a part of life. They haven't seen what goes on, because I've seen that. I've seen kids being kidnapped by people, and then they cut their two fingers and send it to their parents and say, you have to pay us this much or we're going to torture your kid. They kidnap them, they put glue in their eyes so that they'll use them for begging, or cut their hands. And the begging mafia is huge over there. Like, literally there's auctions for different traffic signals, especially in the posh areas. You're gonna have to pay more for the signals, and you put the kids there, and they have babies, little babies, and say, look, I have a baby, please. They come to your car and say, please give money, I have to feed my baby. and like they use it as a sympathy, right? And these
Yeah.
are motherfuckers, evil motherfuckers. So I basically like just gave up on them. I was like, these guys can't be fixed. I have to get out and like do what I can to do, basically just do my part, my individual part. If I had the power, right? If I had the power to make a red button, which just ends this all inside my room, I wouldn't be like talking to anyone or doing this crap. I'll just like, yeah, just take the win, end this cycle of pointless suffering where we all just basically are chasing our addictions. Like we wake up, we get hungry, we get horny, we get thirsty, we gotta have shelter, we gotta like, um, maintain our homeostasis at all times. We have to keep on running, so to speak. And I don't want to play this stupid game anymore. Like my intelligence prohibits me to say, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, come on, it's stupid. Life is stupid. Get out of here. And that's like I felt that like for the past 15 years, I've just felt that, come on, I gotta get out of it. These people are insane. I just gotta get out of it. And now that I research more about the whole climate change and the collapse that we're headed to, and the permutations that are going to happen before that, the water wars, all this stuff, it's all going to happen. So I'm like, if I get out, I'm going to prevent my
I think we lost you, Efil. Blaise just froze. Blaise just froze, and but I hope you guys were able to get what he was saying, man, because that was really, really. Oh, here he comes. Hey, you froze there at while you were talking. You froze, and then you went away. So
yeah.
sorry. Can you be kind of as well as you can go back to where we left off? We were on a roll, man. This is fucking heavy.
Yeah, sorry about like I get these technical issues even when I'm uploading videos because I use my phone for everything.
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
does bugs me. But yeah, I was basically just saying like, the suffering that I will cause just by living, by being a part of this stupid system where there are more losers than winners. The top 1%, like these people, and I look at these, even the people that are the young people in the university and they're sort of smart and whatever, even they're like admiring the rich. Oh, look at him, he came from nothing, he did all this and now he's rich. No, assholes, if you're gonna be rich, then this is just simple math. If you're gonna be filthy rich, there's gonna be a tons and tons of people who are gonna be living in poverty and shit. That's just the equation. So these rich bastards, they show us, oh, look at us, we're so special, and these people admire them. And I'm like, fucking hell,
Yeah.
they're
They control armies. They control entire armies and murder. Murder like uh, it's hard to wrap your head around the numbers of what these people kill. Other people, animals, the planet too, right?
yeah, and it's like they don't like they pretend to care. They say, oh, we care about you. Okay, care about me. I'm gonna be honest, I want to get out of here. No, but you can't kill yourself. That is wrong. That is wrong. You can't do that, God. And this is one of the things what I saw in religion, right? Because even with the religious people, I can give them the argument that, hey, listen, either you're going to hell or heaven. So why not just repent your sins now, kill yourself, and go to heaven? And that's the asterisk. They're like, no, 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 suicide is forbidden. That's what these guys in the like who invented this religion, they were like, yeah, they might just think like that, so we got to put suicide as it's prohibited. So
Yeah, yeah. If you do the suicide route, then everything else is null and void, and then you burn in hell for eternity. And it's
and
like pretty sure I'm not going to have a mind, sensory organs, you know, fingertips and things like that to feel any kind of, not even let alone a stove burn, let
yeah,
alone hell.
Yeah, and they believe in all sorts of nonsense, like, oh, there's a soul inside of you. I'm like, what? This is the brain. My consciousness is a product of my brain. That's the reality. That's where the science and the facts lead to. Now, you're going to say there's a soul inside something. You're going to have to prove it with evidence. Otherwise, I'm going to call it bullshit. And I do. But then they give like spirituality. Oh, we don't know. We don't know what will happen after you die. No, I know what will happen after you die. You go back to where you were 100 years ago before you were born. Nothing. You were experiencing the bliss of nothing. So it's like once you give up, you're dead. You haven't lost. You prevented your losses. You prevented your cancer diagnosis. You prevented your heartbreaks. You prevented all the misery that would fall on you, and you prevented your inevitable natural death. And like, just like, people don't even think about this stuff, like the average death. Like, so who would want to do the average death? Like, it's a near 12 months long, tubes, bullshit. That's just the average, not the super worse, just the average. And these people are like, don't worry, be happy. We'll play the game a little bit better than that. I'm lucky. I will die with my boots on, or some other stoic psychobabble they have in their stupid head. So I just don't get any of it. I'm like, fuck, these people are insane.
Yeah, it is insanity, man. And we're surrounded by, like what Guy McPherson puts it, we're born into captivity. We're born into the set of living arrangements. We didn't ask to be here. We didn't ask which time in history and what year we were born. Our parents, like Doug Stanhope says, our parents fucked, and now we're here, and now we're fucked.
Yeah, exactly. And we're like, they're like, even like, if let's say that everything will, let's give them the benefit of the doubt that everything will work out, which it won't. Let's just say everything will work out. Still, if you're dead, there's nothing. Like, what's wrong with Mars? Why is Mars in a deficit? Why do you think Mars is in a deficit? Because there are no Martians. That's stupid. The universe doesn't need Martians. The same is true for Earthlings. We are infinitely unmissable. And it's this is just the human ego, the arrogance that, yeah, we are important. We have this. We have intelligence. Like, first of all, they say that we're intelligent. No, you're not intelligent. Intelligence is recognizing what we're caught up in. They only use intelligence for the scheming, to get what they want. Like, if I can get something that's, it's mine, I can extract the energy from the environment. Yes, Kitty. Say hello to Sir Willis.
Oh, good little kitty eco-terrorist.
Yeah, and it's just like this animal, like this one cat, right? I care about this cat, right? But I also have to recognize that there are millions outside who are getting run over, all this other stuff, all this other misery that happens to them, and nobody's caring about them. Nobody gives a shit. Like, yes, if it's my pet, yeah, it shouldn't be harmed. But all these other animals, yeah, they're like, no, we like, it's just life. That's what happens in life. And I think they won't get it until the shit falls on them. Once the shit falls on them, then they might get it. Even then, their ego might come and say, yeah, no, it was worth it. And these assholes, they can have cancers and all sorts of liabilities, and they'll still say, yeah, give it to somebody else. They want to live my stupid life. No, I don't want to live your life. I don't want to be your kid. You have no right to impose this reality, this false reality, this false values, fake bullshit on me. It's wrong. It's straight up wrong. That's why I argue for it, and I say procreation is worse than murder. It's as simple as that. When you procreate, you open the doors to all the risk, suffering, uncertainty. Like, and this is one of the things, the future is uncertain. We don't know what could happen. And that should make us risk averse, not like, yeah, let's go take risk. Let's play the game. No, that should make us risk averse. Holy shit, this could happen. Let's get out of here as soon as we can. And now when we look at the probabilities of what the world is turning into, like everything, like the collapse is right in front of us. It's happening right in front of us. We're on a Titanic, the boat is sinking, and these people are pretending that they're yachting. Yay.
Yeah. Oh, another drink, please. Another round. The boat's not sunk completely yet, so God, I know, man. I love there's so many similarities to it's like the planet is a mirror of the story of the Titanic.
It's perfect.
And it's the same thing happened on the Titanic. The band played on, the people didn't know what was going on, so they were, especially the lower class people in the lower levels of the ship too, weren't even told the ship was sinking. So that's exactly what this is. So the Titanic is just such a great analogy in so many ways. Unbelievable.
Exactly. And like people are just so far from reality, and all just for their selfish desires. Hey, if I do this, then I can make this much money. If I do this, then I can make this much money. And it's like, hey, just because you're winning doesn't mean, like, this is like, by creating losers, you're not winning. You don't win when you create losers. No, you've lost. It has to be win-win, or don't play the game at all.
Right.
You should be allowed to make losers for your perpetuation of existence, because you think you're important. You think that, yeah, my life is good. It's okay if these other beings are going through cancer and all this other crap. It's okay. I'm worth it. I'm important. Fuck you, people. That's what I.
Yeah, man. It's totally it's unreal. And why is it that we are abnormal for recognizing this and needing, if we bring up any of this shit and amongst our family, most of our friends, like I've had to get rid of all those people, thankfully, but for most people that still have to live in society and amongst families and stuff, this is so fucking lonely, right? To have to live by their views and standards and their blindness. It's it's maddening.
Even when the people some people, I think about it in some way, like there's got to be in some words I can, like a combination of words, if I just speak that in that way, it just goes through their brain and we get it now. It's like, even when they do get it, they want to be willfully ignorant. And one thing that we need to recognize is that the truth is very bleak. It's gonna be, and I hate this inconsistency bullshit of some have half the truth but not the full truth, just because it makes them feel a certain way, that we're woke or some other horseshit like that. No, you have to take in the whole truth, and the whole truth will lead you to this one conclusion, that is, sentience is suffering on this planet, and it's unnecessary, because you don't think the Martians need to exist. You actually don't think that the universe is in some deprived state because there are no Martians or Venetians or whatever. Those planets are better because they've won. There are no wars, there's no disease, no destruction, none of that crap. No sentience, no problem. The problem is created here. When the brain is created, that's where all the problems are. The problem isn't in the universe, the problem is here. It's being projected here, and it's real. It feels, you can feel the pain. You can know, this I don't want to do this again. Yeah, this sounds like a good time. I can do that. These are definitive categories of feeling good and feeling bad. And the feeling good is what I argue is just there's no such thing as an intrinsic good. It's just the bad, the negatives, and the relief from the negatives. Like, you're feeling good right now because you have shelter, because there's a heater in the place. Or otherwise, if you'll be out, you'll be cold. You're feeling good right now because you have a sense of security that, yeah, I've got water, I've got food in my fridge. That's the only reason you feel good, because you're getting immunity from the negatives. So there are no intrinsic goods, intrinsic pleasures, none. It's just the release of pain. We're born into a negative state of addiction, and we just chase our addictions, and at the end we die. It's pointless, absurd, stupid, and yet these assholes think they have this right to impose it on someone, to impose it on me, where I have to go through all of this crap and then realize it's all a fucking sham, and then find out a way to peacefully get out of this sham to prevent my future suffering. And I don't want to keep on doing this over and over again, because I don't see any difference between this brain suffering or this brain suffering or this cat. It's the same. If this suffers or that suffers, logically, there's no difference. It's the same. It doesn't matter who is doing the suffering. It only matters how many are suffering. Calculation. And this is what I think. This is like maths. You establish, like you make a premise that suffering is bad, and then you just look at the world and say, how many people at this moment right now are suffering, enduring, sweating, and how many are having a blissful experience? And you look at it and you say, is it really worth it? The scales go. My argument wins that this is not a good game, and you have no right to presume that somebody would like playing this stupid game of, just keep on going, just keep perpetuating. It's fine, it's going to get better later. Just the stoic psychobabble of, get a job, chase your cash, just forget it, just live your own life. And I don't even have the motivation to do that now, because I'm like, well, for what? What's the point? You all die in the end. What's the fucking point? For what why are you thinking that this is something meaningful when it's absolutely not? The only meaning you can derive from it is if you prevent suffering, if you prevent others from suffering, theoretically. But how many are doing that, and how many are just selfishly playing their own game in their head, their psychology? And it's a bad game. It should be emphasized, and we should finally have the come out and say that, hey, fuck you people. And we can't even I can't even say shit about religion now. Recently, Salman Rushdie, he was stabbed on this fucking stage while he was giving a lecture, and this shit still exists. You can't say something against religion because some lunatic will come and just fuck you up. And you're like, what can you do as an individual here? So this is why one of the reasons that I fight for the right to die is first you imposed it on us. You imposed this existence, this stupid, idiotic existence of chasing your addictions, chasing your tail, basically never getting complete. Because even if I get what I want, if I get $1 million, next week I'm going to want another $1 million. And it just keeps on going, this addiction thing. And
Sure.
And even that kind of bullshit. So I'm like, fuck that. I want to get out of it. These people are forcing me. No. And it's so weird when it comes to the right to die. They won't give you the peaceful pill. They'll say, no, you'll kill yourself. But wait a minute, I've got a knife at my home. I've got ropes. So they'll allow you, they're so sadistic. They'll allow you to die horribly, but they won't give you the peaceful pill. It's just fucking ludicrous. It doesn't make any fucking sense. They're trying to control.
better did a little study recently, just asking myself a question, and 1 out of every 10 gunshot suicides, they survive. And
That's
if you already want to die, and you have your only resort is, well, I have access to a gun, I'm gonna blow my fucking brains out, and then you fuck that up, and you gotta still live with that.
that's
Oh,
hard.
damn, man. Oh,
And
that
then
is so
this
fucked.
pro-life crap, they say you're encouraging suicide. And why, first of all, why is that even a bad thing? Like, if somebody, like, I convince somebody to, yeah, somebody says, yeah, you make a lot of sense. When you say that if I am dead, if I don't wake up tomorrow, I prevent my own suffering and the suffering that I will inevitably cause. So that makes a lot of sense. This is a logical argument. That's why I'm getting out of it. They're like, no, you murdered them. Like, what? This is like, you can't help someone. Like, first of all, like, you can't even help someone who wants to die. Like, because if I help them, I'm going to
Yeah.
jail.
Yeah,
And
you get punished for their for oh man, that's God. Yeah, that I mean, you couldn't even know the the sickest person ever could even, it takes a society of sick people to perpetuate this kind of evilness on an entire society, right? Like
yeah,
no one person could write how dystopian this shit is. They have to, like, it would be something they have to work together collectively on, and that's basically where our tax dollars.
yeah, and it's like these people, like, you throw anything at them, they'll say, oh, okay, let's endure this. They'll endure anything. They'll go through anything. They'll say, yeah, bring it on, bring it on. We'll, no problem. Billions of people are suffering, no problem. Billions of people died of famine, no problem. And this is one of the questions that I asked: that how bad does it have to get before you say it's failed? What's your number? What do you think is all right? This is bad. Now we have to stop. They just won't ever admit anything. They're just like, fuck it. And it's like for me personally, right? It doesn't even have to be like they say. People who want to commit suicide, they're emotional and this and that. And even like, I just watched one video about what happens, what they do to these animals in these medical testing. They vivisect them, they give them cancers and shit. And I just watched that and fuck, I'm a part of this.
Yeah.
I'm a part of this system. Fuck this. I don't accept it at all. It's unacceptable to me. I don't want to be a part of this. You people play this stupid fucking game of exploiting these poor innocent animals who didn't do anything to deserve this. What did they do to you? And it's also stupid. Why are you testing it on animals? Why don't you test your medical substances for your perpetuation of the health of human beings on human beings? Why are you testing it on these other animals? You have no right to do that.
I think somebody, I'm gonna take a look at the chat real quick. I think somebody wanted to ask a question. I think Gay Rad Feminist Beard. Yeah, feel free to ask any questions. Oh, are we all three Ephilists here? That's a good point. So, I mean, I think I am. I'm still learning. I'm learning because I've come from more of I was a volunteered in conservation for 10 years. I'm a big nature lover, animal lover. I'm not vegan. I eat meat, so I know that I recognize that I'm choosy when it comes to which animals I love. I totally get that, and I know that's a fault of mine, and I have no I have no that's what I was raised into, and all that, like we all were. So I absolutely respect vegans and vegetarians. I was a vegetarian for a little bit. But to get back to to the show here in the topic. Efil, you taught me a word the other day that I thought was really cool, and I think will go along here. Promortalist.
Yeah.
So, can you kind of enlighten me a little bit about Efilism and promortalism, and then I can try to maybe
Yeah.
add anything to that.
Yeah, like Efilism is basically like in you watch Gary Mendham's video. He's a really smart guy. It's basically that dissection of what life really is, and the responsibility of intelligence to recognize that it's a negative game and it shouldn't be perpetuated. And what promortalism is basically, it's very similar to that. The thing in a sentence, I would say promortalism is it's always better for a sentient being to cease to exist, and for a potential being to never be brought in this world in the first place. That's it. It's basically pro non-existence. Very simple. It's pro non-existence. Non-existence never hurt any sentient being. Existence hurts every sentient being. It's that simple. And I can't see any way to counter argue it. So I'm gonna put that. Because unless somebody can bring me a counter argument, yeah, sure. But I've looked for it all, and there's just no way. There's just no way to read this simple logic. And the fact is, you're gonna die. All sentient beings die in the end. Earth will be barren eventually. So basically, we're just talking about how long we just perpetuate the cycle. So it's not about being dead is bad. No, it's about how when do we die? Like, is it like sooner or later? And promortalism says the sooner it happens, the better. The longer it prolongs, the more suffering there will be. And this is how I define it, and this is what I argue in my videos. And nobody has ever been able to counter argue. There's simple logic. They call me, like, people call me, oh, you're a Hitler, you're a Nazi, you want to kill everything. And I'm like, first of all, why is that a bad thing? In the sense, if there's a red button and it blows up the whole planet, I think you should be obligated to do so. Like right now, there are people, you have the red button in front of you, and there are people looking at you. The victims are looking at you, begging you that we're in pain. Please end our pain. Please end our pain.
Yeah, please vaporize us.
Wait, you're gonna say, oh no, maybe it'll get better. Oh no, I'm violating the rights of those others who are having fun. Fuck that. I'm slam dunking that button and ending this cycle of pointless suffering that doesn't need to exist. It's just basically, this is what Efilism, one of the statements I take from Gary, very good statement. When they create human beings or sentient beings, they're needful machines. They need to they need to have food, they need to get water, they need comfort. So the universe doesn't need them. The universe doesn't need Martians, the universe doesn't need Earthlings. So they're basically just creating a need that doesn't need to exist. It's illogical. Creating a need that doesn't need to exist is illogical. And same as perpetuating the need of this machine that doesn't need to exist is illogical. So we have to get out. It's the logical outcome of the reality. When you look at reality by taking off this pro-life glasses that these people have put on you, all this society has ingrained in you, this check of the heroine of life is good. Once you take that off, basically promortalism is not being pro-life. It's as simple as that. I'm not pro-life, so I have to go with promortalism.
So and while you're still in an egg, what a beautiful time to never have existed, because if you're being created, your body is being built, and all that shit is going on while you're in an egg or an embryo or whatever.
Yeah,
To end it then ends all suffering for that
exactly.
sentient being, right?
Yeah. If it doesn't get born, then there's no tragedy. Then there's no
Yeah.
loss, no horror. As simple as
This
that.
in this beautiful country, when you're born, if you have a penis, they want to cut your fucking part of your dick off, your dick skin, like and they don't, and because they say, a lot of this is religion too, I think, but either way, it doesn't matter. That they say
Yeah.
that it's a baby. A baby doesn't feel the pain. Fuck, why the fuck is it goddamn screaming and crying if it doesn't feel pain? That thing is wailing in agony just because it isn't going to remember that moment 3 or 4 years later when its brain develops more, doesn't mean that it's not in pure fucking agony at the time, right? Otherwise, it would be fine. It would be happy asleep and dreaming happy thoughts, right?
Yeah.
Mommy's milk or something.
If there's a baby, it's just like here people just call me like, oh, you're for infanticide. And so I just say, just euthanize the baby. Like, why do we need to force the baby to grow up in this shitty society and inevitably die? We haven't solved. We're not immortal. Like, get fucking real, people. We're not immortal. We're all gonna die. You're not gonna, and the universe is gonna suck it all into nothing. It's all gonna end. So why prolong it is the main question. And I have never received a good answer for that, because there is no answer. There's no reason for human beings to exist, or any of sentient beings to exist. We're not purifying anything. We're not fixing anything. We're not doing any of this stuff. We're just doing our selfish game in our head. Oh, I have to do this. I gotta chase that bitch. I gotta do this. I gotta get money. I gotta get the cheese. And just die. It's just basically one of the metaphor that Inmendum uses is, I really like that. It's that it's a meat grinder. Like, that's what life is, a meat grinder. That's what's consistent with the facts, like with the evidence. We're all just waiting for, we're all on our death row. We're sitting in the death row waiting for, all right, your turn to be in the meat grinder. Your turn to be in the meat grinder. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're just because we're on top of the meat, like I'm living in a place where a bunch of shit died, right? We occupied this area where a bunch of shit was killed, and I'm living on it. And I'm like, fuck, I'm living on dead bones and shit. Like, I don't want to walk on this surface where a bunch of shit died. There's blood everywhere, and these people are saying, so just close your eyes, close your ears, just go through the blood. And I'm like, no, fuck this, it stinks. Fuck you. I don't want to be a part of this shit. And so I'm like, it pisses me off. It triggers me to when people say this, oh, don't worry, be happy shit. This statement will cause, they'll soon realize, because the collapse is coming, when it hits on them, when they have to cannibalize each other for food, then they'll realize that, yeah, we were wrong with this. Don't worry, be crap.
Yep. It's like we're all living in a chicken coop, on a chicken farm, a meat farm, like for Tyson Foods or whatever. We're all chickens living under the rule of Tyson Farms, all cooped up in cages. And if we're the owner of Tyson Farms, or part of the family or whatever, and we got cushy jobs and money, there's still, even those people are still in the chicken coop, since they're still going to die too, right? And they're still, they're obviously going to suffer less, but they're still going to, they're basically they're going to be protected and have a better life, but it's still shit. And they're destroying everything there, for what joys they get out of life.
Yeah. And it's like, there are people who argue with me and say, no, we can make it better. I can concede. Yeah, it's if there are 1 billion people, 1 billion animals being exploited, that is better than 2 billion, right? I can concede that. But if we can end it, that should be our goal. It shouldn't be like, yeah, like even these vegans, right? This is where I lose the vegans as well. Because I give the simple argument, man. Listen, even the crops you eat, there's a bunch of rodents being killed for the crop production. And you're presuming now that my survival is so important that I have to live another day, that it's worth these rodents' pain, that it's worth their suffering. Billions of them die just for my potatoes. I love eating potatoes, but I have to recognize that, yeah, even my consumption of potatoes is causing unnecessary harm because life is unnecessary. It doesn't
Right.
need to exist. So they're like, yeah, of course, yeah, if it's a vegan world, it will be better, but it's only better if I can compare it to a verse.
Right. You know, going to the store to get the potato, and the truck that delivered the potato that I'm going to go buy and eat to the store, there were animals that were run over. There was
Yeah,
fossil fuels that were burned and dug up and to be burned. I'm going to the store and I'm running over insects and animals and
yep,
whatever else. Hopefully, no children. And to go get my potato that I'm going to eat. So no matter how clean and green and blah 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 we try to live, we're
you can't.
still destroying everything just
Yeah,
to try to be a good vegan, right?
yeah,
And that's kind of my argument, and why like I still eat meat, because things are busy and I might not have time. I'm on the run or whatever. I might not have time, but I enjoy a salad, but a meatless salad. But that's not always. It's hard to eat a salad and drive. It's way easier to eat a burger, or a chicken sandwich and drive. And I know I'm guilty of that, but again,
yeah. You're acknowledging that, and that's the right thing, right? And the same way, like I'm acknowledging, yeah, you should be like be as least of an asshole as we can. Yes, we agree. But again, we are for the victims, like they say, yeah, we're going to reduce the suffering. Yeah, fine, it's good. But the victims who are here now, what are you going to say to them? Oh, you weren't part of the reduction category. So sorry, here you go. Here's your pain and suffering. Sorry, we were trying to reduce. If you're gonna do that, fuck that. I want you guys to end so I don't have to come here again, so to speak, because I don't see any difference between this brain, that brain, and the future brains. I don't see any difference in that. It's consciousness. That's what matters. The suffering is important. And it doesn't matter if you've reduced it. It's better if you've reduced it, but again, it doesn't need to exist. You're just presuming that I am important. Yeah, I'm going to reduce the suffering, I'm going to go vegan, but I'm still going to cause harm to these other animals just by living. And I have to acknowledge that while I'm alive, that, hey, I'm causing this harm just by living, just by breathing. The oxygen is made from like clean water. All of this stuff is made from the death of the biosphere. And you just can't help it. You just can't help it. So the rational conclusion is either we gotta have the win-win situation, which is impossible. Life will always come with harm. Even if there's just one being who will be harmed, I would still argue it's wrong to violate their consent and make them go through the suffering for your pleasures. Fuck that. So I would say just recognize that, yeah, let's end it as soon as we can. Let's get out as peacefully and gracefully as we can, and don't stop perpetuating it, because it's a stupid game. Nobody wins here. Even the billionaires that die, they don't take the money with to their graves. They don't go to some heaven or whatever. There's nothing like that.
Yep. They put their pants on, if they choose to wear pants, they put their pants on just like you and I do, one leg at a time.
Exactly. They take shit too. Like, this is another thing, right? I take a shit, I flush it down the toilet, it goes in the ocean and it fucks up the fish environment. And I'm like, fuck. I'm just like, you can't do anything here without causing harm.
Oh man, I'll even take that to a whole nother level that I never even thought of until my friend Pauline Schneider said in a recent interview, and how nuclear power plants, they require cooling water to cool them, right, to keep them cool.
Yeah.
And basically their exhaust, when they're running properly, they're not too awfully terrible to the environment when they're running properly to the land animals. But of course, they will never always run properly. They're always going to have problems. There's always going to be what's called a scram, and that's any time that they have to be shut down and have to be repaired. And there's many of those per day that are only reported if you know what you're looking for and know how to find them. There is like a scram report or something, but even when they're working at their best, the cooling water to keep them cool gets put back out into the water. That's the same incoming water. So if there's the fish and life that's right there at that exhaust are being fucking boiled.
Exactly.
That is just
Insane. And these people say, yeah,
it's just swimming along, and all of a sudden it's in boiling water. What the fuck just happened? Because of us.
Exactly. And like, would they want to be that? Would they want to be the victim? Will they say that again? This transhumanism thing, I encountered these assholes too. They're like, yeah, we'll make pain go away. They don't recognize there's a lot of testing that needs to be done to get to that point. And so would they, this guy David Pierce, who's this transhumanist purveyor, he's like, I'm like, hey, will you be the rat being vivisected for this future transformer human? Would you go through that suffering? Would you take it for the cause? No shit, right. You won't. So why the fuck are you saying it's okay if it happens to them? It's just so stupid. These people are full of shit. They think they're gonna make some magical utopia, while right now we can see that, oh fuck, they brought us here in this idiotic world. Especially and these people are like some like people who were born in these Western countries, like here in Hungary or Switzerland or
North America. I mean, America, USA.
They don't know what's going on in the third world. I've been there. I've lived that. I know they don't want to live that life. I can guarantee them that they wouldn't want to live that life. It's so horrific. It's so sad. Like every woman that I met over there has told me that she was raped in one way or another. And she didn't go to the police. Why? Because of honor, because of the family's honor. And you're like, fuck, what's this like? And they think they've made it better. They think that it's a good game. Yeah, life, we're making it better. This is so crap. I wish they get what they deserve. They should go through this pain, which they've essentially sanctioned. They're saying, yeah, it's okay. It's okay what's happening in Pakistan. It's okay. It's okay that people are having kids basically to get money, right? Basically exploiting kids to get money. Like even my parents, what are they doing? They're like, yeah, you study and you get a degree, then you'll get a job, and then their life will be better, right? Or my dad is chasing the respect delusion that his peers and all his other friends will say, yeah, your son has studied from abroad, this and that, and they'll give him respect. And this respect addiction too is so ew.
Yeah, it's just respect that is bought, is all that is. Because it doesn't even matter. Like if you're sent abroad to study in another country, that's just privilege at work. It doesn't mean that person is smarter or is going to be more successful, or that just means their family had more money or more love to try to help their kid get a better life by sending them to a better school.
And they say this education system makes you smarter. I've seen people here studying, they're dumb as rocks over there, studying dumb as rocks. I've gained more knowledge from Google and YouTube than all of my studies combined from lower nursery to my university. Just 1
No.
hour online. I can watch like Harvard University, MIT, all these lectures online for free. Why the fuck am I paying these assholes when I can get the information for free? And that's all what matters, right? No, but for them, that doesn't matter. What matters is the degree, the written thing that, oh, I'm qualified, the ego. They just can't step over that crap. And again, like when I talk about veganism and health, right? Because whenever I give the vegan argument to someone, when I'm like outside conversing with someone face to face, they always give you the, oh, it's but my health would be that, my health would be this, and I can't do this and that. And the other day I was talking to this girl, and she's like, I know better than you because I'm studying medical. I'm becoming a doctor, so I know better than you. I said that's irrelevant. Counter argue the facts that I've given you. Counter argue them. I don't care if you're a doctor or you're a heroin addict on the streets. I just care what words come out of your mouth, and are they logical and consistent with the facts that can be observed, like obvious facts that can be observed. And these people are like so full of themselves, of like, hey, you can't talk about physics because you're not a physicist. You can't talk about climate change because you're not a climate scientist. This is just so crap. Like, I can't do my own research. Like, but this is so bullshit.
Yeah.
I need to be like, they get to define my standard. I can't do it myself. Others have to. This is crap. I
absolutely. You know, that a piece of paper is really just bought, and that's really all that is. And that's a piece of paper that shows, like you were saying earlier in the beginning of this interview, of this conversation, you were talking about how everything is paid. You know, you have to pay to go to the school, you have to pay for all of this, you have to, and then they grade you on top of that. So there you are being forced to, and the same applies to public school, because I've never been to college, but I did go to public school. And public school, even though I passed and everything, it didn't teach me shit. I learned more. I had to, when I got into adulthood and the internet, because I was pre-internet. So when the internet came on, it was, I had all these questions that I wanted answered. You know, I wanted to. There was just everything, and it was all right there, and it was still building at that point, because it was, everything was new. But you know, I had to unlearn. In order to learn, I had to unlearn everything that the system taught me.
Exactly.
And so the system taught these doctors and all these people, and they're just capitalist whores is all they are. And they're not, you know, most of them aren't shit. Now, individually, there are a few that I do highly respect that have, you know, doctors, you know, that are masters in, you know, philosophy, but they were all of that mindset anyway. They were already intelligent and knew that, you know, they already saw things were, everything was a lie, and everything is, you know, capitalism monetizes literally everything, including oxygen and fucking water. You can't fucking, that's not natural at all, right? So,
and it's like you've like done this philosophy thing too, right? I've read a lot, like, you know, just all these philosophers and stuff. There's an academic academic route you can take, and this other route, which is like just basically looking at reality for what it is. And that's what philosophy is: putting yourself out of the game and looking at the game, like out of, like putting your personal desires out of it and looking at the game for what it actually is, and not getting like, oh, you're not an academic, so yeah, we won't take you seriously. That's just crap. So it's like, even the academics, like you know, like David Benatar, he's very articulate. He makes very good arguments for antinatalism. His books are really nice, good stuff overall. But it's like, it just doesn't say much. It doesn't, it doesn't like give you the reality that, oh fuck, we're fucked. It doesn't say
Right.
the word that we're fucked, we're doomed.
Right. That should be that should be like kindergarten. Welcome to
Yeah.
kindergarten. You're fucked. First day of school, you're fucked.
Yeah.
You're not sucking on mama's milk anymore. Uh, you know, now you got to go and you're going to get beat up, or maybe you're the one that beats on everybody. Who knows? Where are you going to fall
Either you're
into
a
this?
victim or a perpetrator. That's simply it. Even the perpetrators end up becoming victims because they die too. So it's like, this is a crap.
That's it. If there's one beauty in everything, it's that even Hitler died. Even
Yeah.
eventually every politician that fucked us, which is all of them, eventually they will all die. Eventually every billionaire will die. We're just fucking waiting for the moment. But in that in that wait, we also will all die because
That's a
the underground
redemption, I
bunkers.
would say. That's the redemption that all sentient beings have. At one day, their subjective experiences of their brain will end,
Yeah.
like go back to zero, which was 100 years ago before they were born, so to speak. Once they're dead. So
That's the only thing that
redemption that we have. That's the only good thing about life is death.
right. Like I can there's people. I'm not aggressive. I haven't thrown a punch since like elementary school. But there are people I want to see fucking dead that ruin my fucking life, whether I work for them, work with them, or they're my family who brought me into this shit and treated me like shit doing so.
Yeah.
So that's like the one thing, and I'm like, I don't have to be a psychopath. I don't have to go and fucking do anything because they're gonna fucking suffer anyway, and I get a little bit of enjoyment. Because if my plans work properly, I won't suffer because I was smart enough to think ahead and try to plan my future. But they're not so smart, so I know they'll never even think like that.
Yeah,
No.
but some of them might just even win, right? I'll concede that, like, they'll rape and pillage their whole life and they'll die of a massive heart attack in an instant. So like,
Right, yeah.
or they'll get
Yeah,
somebody to shoot them in the
they'll get just the right amount of cocaine and blow their hearts out or something.
And like they say that, oh, like serial killers are bad and this and that, and I'm like, hey, if a serial killer is going out and killing billionaires, yeah, I'm for it. Yeah, go ahead. So you have a plan to kill all billionaires? Yes, I'm for it.
I know, and the shitty thing is, a judge would still sentence them to death. Like, that would be like a Robin Hood moment. Robin Hoods have always been the heroes of our history. A mass murder Robin Hood that just went around killing billionaires would be beautiful.
Beautiful, yeah. And then these people are
I
violent.
want that guy to live another day. I'd even if he ate a cow or whatever, I'd still want that guy to live another day because he did so much fixing that he can do a little
exactly.
So bad, right?
Yeah, exactly. At the end of the day, it's just the value equation, right? Either what your life caused, like either you prevented more suffering, or you caused more suffering. That's what the end of this machine would be. Like, that's all what you can write on your grave, so to speak. That this person made the world a better place for his or her existence. Like what you're doing, I really appreciate. You're being like the biggest whistleblower. Like you're saying that, hey, we're doomed. Let's find out. Let's get out of here as gracefully as we can. But people don't want to listen to it. But you're doing your part. So I can write on your grave that, this person made the world a better place for his or her existence.
Yeah.
So that's all. What's it's about. The value equation. How much suffering was caused by your existence and how much was prevented. If the prevention is more, then fine, perpetuate it. But again, the uncertainty of the future, you don't know. Like, I don't know, like, I go out and I'm on my bike and I get into an accident and I hit my head and I start to eat meat again, or I start to rape women or something. This shit can happen. I'm at the risk of this. When
Yep.
I'm alive, I'm constantly at a risk of these forces, these crude forces, these unfortunate circumstances that can happen, that do happen to people. And I'm rolling the dice. And that's why I take the promortal view that, yeah, let's get out as soon as we can, because we don't have control over it. Let's get real. We don't have, if the shit when the shit hits the fan, we don't have control over it.
Yeah.
We can't mitigate it. You can't undo somebody who has elephant fantasy, who's born and who has gotten elephant fantasies. You can't just say, yeah, okay, you can undo it. No, it's horror. It's been caused now, and it can happen to you, it can happen to your kids, or you can cause it to someone else. By just by living, you're playing these dices. You're whatever, like even the videos that I make, the words that come out of my mouth, they can influence someone in a certain way. And either they can take it, like, this is why I try to be very rigid and surgical in my arguments, so that, like, whoever is going to listen to it, they don't find any inconsistency, and they're like, yeah, okay, this makes sense. So, but again, there
Yeah.
are some crazy people outside who might just listen to
They're
it
gonna
and
take things out
go
of
out,
context.
yeah, and go out on a killing spree, and they'll say, oh, like, see, this is what promortalism caused. A guy was promortalist and he killed so many people, and this will be bad for the philosophy, right? For the
Right.
idea. So you have to be careful with everything you do.
Even though it's okay when religious people do it, and if it's, as long as, and if they're not Christian or Baptist or Catholic or something like that, then we, as in the United States anyway, we can we can label that religion, like, we can label that religion as a, well, that's a terrorist organization. Yet we're this country, white people are the biggest terrorists of today, and in any of our real recent history going back hundreds of years. It's really fucking sick.
Yeah, and like religion is just so, like, it gets a free card every time, right? Oh, okay, let's see.
Yeah,
God
it
has written
does.
in the Quran or in the Bible that, yeah, you have to kill the infidel. Like, my dad literally said this to me once, that if somebody disrespects the prophet, yeah, they have to be killed. And I was looking at his face, I'm like, holy shit, he doesn't know what I talk about.
That's that's horrifying, man.
Or
That's horrifying. So you
And you
that's
know
a
what's even more horrifying? He will be supported. He will be supported by these others. Everybody will
right.
support him. Say, yes,
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing. Because the religion says so. It's so idiotic.
God, man, I'm really, I feel so fucking sorry for you for that, because yeah, that's so fucking heavy. And it's that extreme. It's that fucking extreme that I can't even believe that somebody like you can exist, and coming from where you came from, um and how lonely that must be and feel for you, because I didn't come from anything that gnarly in that sense. Luckily I wasn't forced or even asked to go to church by my parents, and I went on my own a couple of times just to check it out, and that was cool. I was glad I had the freedom to do that, and I was like, yeah, this just doesn't make sense. I don't understand the Noah's Ark. I like animals, and so I even knew enough about, like, how the fuck do you get all the animals on the planet, knowing that the planet's pretty big, because I did a little bit of traveling just in the
Yeah.
southeast mostly, but to know that I'm just in one part of the planet, one small area of the planet, and they, like, who the fuck can get two of every species on a boat and not kill each other and not get sick and die and have them breed? I'm uh, I
It's
was
a
a
long
reptile keeper for much of my life. And you can't just put two fucking snakes together and they're gonna make babies. It doesn't fucking work like that. And then if you have to create the environment of every fucking species, like it's just just and I was in elementary school and I was kind of asking those questions, maybe not to that level of of being able to put the questions together in my words together to get it out. But in my core, I fucking felt this is bullshit. This is just complete impossible horseshit. Oh, but if I have faith and don't question it, then it's real. Well,
yeah,
then it's not fucking real, right? It's not
yeah.
fucking real at all.
And like
It's a lie, right? Oh my God, it's fucking insane. I can't believe that you came from you came from really, really fucking hardcore programming, fucking
yeah,
brainwashed, and
it
able
was
to
very hard
like
to go
overcome
back.
that, see through that, and be able to like speak out about it. Like, I mean, you kind of have to. How can you not? But it's got to be really fucking dangerous for you, right?
Yeah, it's really dangerous. Like one of the things is not some people, like it's not even just about the danger. Like they just can't handle social disapproval. Like they
Yeah,
they'll agree with you, but like the social, like a lot of these religious people that I know, they're only religious because like their peers are religious. Like everybody around them is religious. So if they go against, like most human beings are sheep, right? They just follow the pack. So they don't want to be wolf and go on their own, right? So I had this mentality ever since I was a kid that yeah, this is, I don't want to be part of the group. I like being alone more. And my mom and dad, like they were like, hey, you have to go to pray. Like this over there, you have to go to church once a week, right? If you're a
oh yeah,
man and you're a Muslim, you have to pray 5 times a day in the mosque, 5 times a day.
yeah.
And like one in the morning, first prayer in the morning, then in the afternoon, then in the evening, then before the sun sets, and then before you go to sleep. And some pious assholes, they even pray they talk to their god
Mm.
in midnight at 3 a.m. or some other
Yeah,
horseshit like that.
that brings
And
me to
they're
my
like,
question. Do they get more prayer requests answered if they pray 10 times a day? What if I double my work ethic, my workload, and my my production? What if I double my production?
yeah,
Will I have a better chance over the guy that just prays 5 times a day? That's fuck, anybody can do that. I'm gonna do 15 and I'm gonna win.
yeah, and
I'm
it's
gonna win
okay.
the prayer contest and have my prayers answered.
The thing is, it's, I would say, okay, if they keep it in their living rooms, right, and they don't force it on others, okay, fine, you're a stupid motherfucking retard. Okay, just stay in your living room, don't
Right.
spread this stupidity out. But no, they're imposing it. Like I knew a guy who was homosexual, and he didn't come out because, like, if he's gonna be homosexual there, they're gonna like throw him off the building. That's the punishment, according to the Sharia law. So he had a wife and kids, and because of the society, right? Because he has to show the society is normal, right? But every weekend he used to go to this other city to meet his boyfriend, and I'm like, dude, how? Like, I'm so sorry for you. It's like, fuck. These people have forced this,
Yeah,
and that's
I
why
mean,
this is the biggest war, I think, like war against religion. It has to end. Like right now in the US, right? They're going backwards. Like they banned abortion. Like
yeah.
it's
Oh, we're going completely. And I always knew this was coming. This was going to happen because this is what we impose on the third world. Any country we invade, we impose. And our media feeds us that we're freeing them of all that. Yet we are we're imposing all this crazy shit that's eventually going to come home to roost, and it's going to be imposed on us. And yeah,
yeah,
like you said, we just lost fucking abortion rights mostly in this country.
Yeah, and in
And
Pakistan, abortion was never legal. It was never like I didn't even know that. Oh, there's this thing called abortion. Like when I was a kid, I was just told, yeah, mothers get pregnant and they have babies and that's it. And I'm like, wait a minute, what if they don't want to have a baby? What if they don't want to be a mother?
yeah,
No, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's killing a life while they have a dead animal on their plate. It's so inconsistent. You're killing a
yeah,
life while you have a dead animal on your plate. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, fuck. And so, like, my brother, he also like got some of the shit. He became an atheist too, but he still pretends, right? Because again, social disapproval. It just that people just can't get past social disapproval. They're just like sheep. Like, no, if I be open, then they'll ostracize me. Like I've been ostracized, right? They like I even like everybody I knew back there, like I don't talk to anybody anymore. Like sometimes I once a month or something I talk to my dad or whatever, just the simple, you know, pretentious bullshit of hey, how are you doing? Blah blah blah. And that's it. And I talk to my friend Naz, who's also trying to get out of there, who's like, fuck, I'm stuck over here. I need to get out. I need to get out. And I just talk to him and say, hey, you can do this, you can do that. But now I also tell him, man, getting out of Pakistan won't solve the problem. Getting out of the world will solve the problem. I care about you. I won't give you half truth. I'll give you the full truth. This even if you come out here, you're just gonna get back in the circulation of yeah, I gotta work now. I gotta do this slavery now, and I gotta perpetuate this stupidity, this nonsense, and then in the end I'll die. And it's stupid. So like, why prolong it? Just get out of the world. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. None of their values, nothing makes sense to me. I just can't get it in my head. Like some simple values like do unto others as you want to be done to you. Like okay, this is a good statement, right? But
yeah.
all this other crap that they spew, this pro-life bullshit, they're just like I can't like it's life is good. This statement is you can't defend it. it it's consistent with being bad. It's consistent with being negative. You just can't defend this statement, life is good, logically and rationally. You can only defend it with your psychological mush that yeah, I'm having fun. I don't want to talk about it. I just like when I talk about suicide with people, like I know people over here, and like some like you can't just like suppress your memories as uh, you know you know uh, all the time, right? You're with someone, you tell them that hey, like this is a stupid game, I want to get out of it, blah blah blah, you should also think about getting out of it. They'll just disengage with you. They're like, yeah, let's go swimming, or let's do this, let's do that. I do things what makes me happy. I want to do stuff what makes me happy. And you're like, that's so myopic. That's just one brain out of 8 billion, out of billions. That's just one brain. It doesn't do anything. Why don't you people get it? It's tragic and it's dismal, and you're like, oh, fuck. All you can
Yeah,
do is find your losses. This is what I planned, right? I just like I just make I document what I have, like what I can do as valuable. I'm a whistleblower, messenger of reality. I'll document that. Maybe I'm thinking about writing a book too. I've thought about a title, and I think that is a good title. Like life is the problem, death is the
yeah,
solution. And I'm
yeah.
like do that, and then just get out of it peacefully, because I nothing makes me want to perpetuate this existence. Intelligence prohibits me to play a stupid game. I don't want to play a stupid game. So I just get out and hope that yeah, when like again I'll be out, then there's nothing, right? There's everything is over here. Once this shuts off, it's done. So
Hmm.
I just hope that yeah, they don't bring me back here again, or the collapse does its job, and
Yeah, yeah. That's
no,
that brings me to I did want to ask you something. This is something I've kind of come to terms with the more that I've understood and accepted that collapse and human extinction is going to wipe out everything on the planet, and literally everything. Like oceans will evaporate. We're already seeing that with Lake Mead, and well, most of the country is in a drought.
yeah,
Most of the dry land in the planet, or sorry, most of the land in the planet is in a drought. Um, and being in America, that's where I live, North America. I can really see it. And just looking at the North American drought map, most places are in a drought in this country. And then looking at the world, it's the same because we're all connected, we're all one.
yeah,
Um,
it's a circle.
Going
Yeah,
on everywhere. And I when I see a lifeless planet now, I see beauty and peace. What
likewise.
do you see?
I
What,
see like no suffering, and yeah, that's the win. No suffering, you win. So they're winning.
right,
That
right.
planet
And
has won because there's no suffering. It's peace and tranquility, and
yeah,
just
there's
silence.
nothing.
No
Yeah,
cries, no tears, no screaming. Nobody's saying, "Oh, I'm in pain. Please help me." There's none of that happening. Very good. That's very good. And like I wanted to talk about the collapse thing, right? I was watching Guy McPherson's video, like, the Nature Bats last channel, good stuff, and like he talked about aerosol masking, and how the when the nuclear power plants will melt, they will like a life will
yeah.
go.
And
Nothing will survive.
nobody is talking about that. And it's like, why is that not the front of any discussion on any platform, whether it's any
Yeah,
news form or
I,
private,
like,
people
I was
talking in their living rooms.
of it. I watched his video. I looked at the peer-reviewed papers he shares on his blog, and I was like, yeah, why isn't anybody like why isn't this being brought up? Everybody says, yeah, don't like plastic, like separate your plastic bottles, do all of this stuff. Nobody's talking about this real shit.
I
They'll
know.
give you ways, they'll make you to make you feel better that you're doing something, right?
Yeah,
They'll give
exactly. Yep. It's all to make you feel good. It's all we got to do is just deforest a little.
Yeah,
We can't deforest all the way because we still got to grow. We still got to capitalize. But
yeah,
somehow we're going to do it lesser, smarter, and yet still grow and make more money and make more people and grind as Guy says, grind the living planet into dust every day. Um,
yeah. They don't
we can't
recognize
do that because the planet is not infinite. Right? So,
yeah, as simple as that. Growth is unsustainable. There's a fundamental principle that growth is unsustainable. You can't just keep going. We just can't keep going. There's finite resources. It just won't,
yeah,
like, game
I'm,
can't be
I'm
perpetuated.
I'm pretty sure 8 billion people driving in cars and flying planes and doing all the shit that we do. I'm pretty sure there can't be any oil, any fuel left in the dirt. I think we pretty much at least all this stuff that's easily extracted by our multi-million-dollar machines and corporations.
Yeah,
Oh man, I did want to get to the chat too. Sorry, everybody that's in the chat. Don't mean to ignore you guys and stuff, but Blaise has been on a roll, man. I just wanted to keep that going before we kind of stopped. It is getting kind of late too. I don't if let me know if you want to take a break or do a part two or something. But I did want to go through the chat at some
yeah,
point before we wrapped up.
sure.
Um, and nobody has a nice quote. Um, that didn't come out right. Nobody is his name in the chat, and
Yeah,
he has a nice quote. He says, "Blaise, I'm your biggest fan, bruh." So I don't know if you know who nobody is in the chat, but nobody really digs you. And
exactly.
gonna have to say, nobody, you and I might have to battle for that position because is pretty badass, man. I'm digging the guy as well. I like what Gay Rad Feminist Beard says here. Vegan is not the solution, and most vegans do not claim this. Unless they're looking at fame on YouTube. That's pretty funny, and yeah. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
they said.
Somebody had a question too. That let me try to find it here. Let's see, scroll down. I think I missed it. Go back down. Nobody also adds, I'm pro-mortalist. Oh yeah, Blaise, why do you seem to care so much about the animals? Animals are just as sadistic as humans. You seem to have a lot of sympathy for animals.
I would say like they don't have intelligence, so they, like, humans can know better. Animals can't
Right.
do that. Yeah, I recognize when like a lion is devouring a zebra or something. I recognize that that lion is causing suffering, and it's a negative event happening in the universe on Earth, and it should be stopped. Yes, but I'm not gonna blame the lion for it. I'm gonna blame the biology, the
Right.
evolution, this game, this life game that just makes these monsters. And like, we are the only ones, like, because we have developed language and we have intelligence, we can talk about this. And I have sympathy for them because they're stuck. They can't do this philosophy and
Right.
art, the truth. We can, so we have to make the decision for them. So I recognize that they're ruthless. A lion like ruthlessly kills its prey, and it's a really bad thing for the individual animal who has to go through that pain. But I also concede the fact that the lion doesn't know any better, but humans do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And we can choose to do better.
Yeah.
But instead, we never will. We will always, at least at the top level, they will always, because they have free reign. The rich and the elites, they're powerful. They have free reign. They're going to eat all the zebras. They're going to have the zebras brought to them on a silver platter. If they were a lion,
Yeah, and exactly. And let's say, like, even like if the lions got the intelligence first, then before us, like, let's say humans didn't get the intelligence, lion evolved intelligence, I would still say they would come to the same conclusion and say, hey, what we're doing, we're causing unnecessary harm to these animals. We should, like, find a way to do it better, or just fuck it, let's just get out of it. And they would also recognize, like, if there were some aliens on some other planet and they, like, lived through all this crap, and then intelligence, they evolved intelligence, they would recognize that, hey, this is a stupid game, and they would get out too. And this is one of the things, the Fermi paradox. I think this is how it's fixed. Like, if there was intelligent life out there, they're dead, because they recognize that, hey, this is a stupid game, then fuck this crap.
great point. That extincting themselves, and maybe that's
Yeah.
why we're extincting ourselves too.
But they're not doing
The
in
same
a, like,
logic.
they're doing a very lousy job, and that's not the motive here. People are just being selfish, and that's causing the extinction, right? It's not like a deliberate, rational, like, let's do it right thing. They're doing it like lousy, sloppy, idiotic way, where they're causing so much mess, so much suffering, and it's wrong.
Yeah, yeah. Nobody says. He adds, "I wish Joey was my dad." I mean, that's beautiful. I mean, it almost tears me up a little bit. But here's the thing, because my wife said the same thing. She said, you would make a great dad." Even though she knows that I never, we will never have kids, and well, I won't. She has three. Thankfully, that was not my fault. But to when here's the thing about me. So if I had a kid, my kid is gonna shit his pants or throw up at a bad time,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go off. I'm gonna get pissed off,
Exactly.
and you know, and I already know this. That's why I never had a kid. So, you know, I mean, and I was always wanted to be like, if I ever was in a financial position, because I've never been in a financial position to take care of a kid, let alone myself. You got to take care of yourself before you can take care of a kid.
Yeah.
So I always knew no kid, but even with that being said, if I have to have a kid, adopt. And it wasn't until later on in my life, really in the last couple of years, that I've come to understand that people are selfish. That's why they don't want to adopt. They want their own because they're
Yeah,
selfish.
own DNA.
Disgusting.
Especially in
Yeah.
Pakistan, this is the trend. It's my child, like my family blood, as if that means something. What the fuck does that even mean? My blood, you're my blood. What the fuck does that even mean? Like DNA, we're all from the same DNA molecule. We're all from the same ape ancestor. We like the apes are the monkeys and the chimpanzees. There are essentially they are our brothers. So even if there's nobody to adopt, yeah, let's take care of them. Like there's so many things here you can do, and to make it better. Having putting a kid in here, having a kid here is the most stupid thing you can do for yourself. Because yeah, what good are they? You're gonna pay for diapers, then school, then all this crap. But like, who wants to do that? Fuck that. Like, go travel the world or some other shit, right? Like, who wants to do that job? That's a stupid job to do. Like, oh, let's create a life and let's again, I call it child molestation, to be honest. Like, it's just like how they treat the kids treat the pets, right? They get a pet and they get bored with it because they're not cute anymore, and now the rabbit's outside starving to death, or the cat is they're not cleaning the litter, or some other horseshit. And when kids, like, they get 18, then the parents kick them out and like, yeah, go survive yourself. And it's like, so stupid. Why did you do that? How stupid are you to do that? And again, you can be ignorant, right? People will, like, if I told this to my mom, like, I talked about antinatalism with my mom. I had the courage. I was like, why did you give birth to me? And she's like, this was the day I to listen to this. This is what I give birth to you. So you'd say this to me? Like, hey, don't take it personally. Just
Yeah.
acknowledge that you have done something wrong. And like, parents, they don't want to acknowledge shit. This is what I've seen. They don't want
Yeah.
to own to their shit. They never do that. Just admit that you were wrong, and okay, like, okay, I was wrong by forcing you to exist, and I will be principled and say to others that, hey, don't force others in this game. Somebody might not appreciate it. And that's one of the reasons why I talk, right? Because I know they might bring me here again, and I can prevent my future existence again. Who's going to come to the same conclusion and say, oh, fuck this crap. I can prevent that victim. So I'm being the voice for that victim right now. I want them to hear, I want the parents to hear the voice of the victims that they're creating. That I won't
Yes.
appreciate it. Don't do it, you motherfuckers. I won't like it. Don't presume that I would like this stupid game that you people like playing.
And uh, nobody wanted to add. Nobody from the chat. He said tell you that it's Pasta Muncher from Reddit. So
Oh,
if you
pasta. I
recognize
know pasta.
okay, that's who nobody is on the yeah, and I like it when people do identify themselves, because I've been triggered before by people who are they're not using their name, and
Uh,
triggered me and got me into trouble before. So I try to be careful about especially people that use a name that you don't know. I've always been so open and honest that every platform, even the first time I logged into a forum or something like that, I always just if I use a fake name, I make it funny and I say it's me, Joey, or something like that. But I was always Joey. I was always never trying to hide my identity. And not
Yeah.
saying that nobody was doing that. I was just making a point because somebody has done that on my channel and come in, and I didn't know who they were, even though I knew them, but I didn't know who they were because of their screen name. So
Yeah.
I do like it. Like, you know, a lot of people that are from my channel are like that too, and they'll usually use their real name, but not everybody does that blank across.
Yeah, you gotta be careful too, like, because a lot of them are trolls as well. But Pastor Manchar, he does comments on the promortalist subreddit. He's got some good stuff. I like his stuff. We're on the same page when
Cool.
it comes to promortalism.
And I wanted to get to that too. So you're how do we find you on Reddit? I know you're on Facebook. I've found you on Facebook, and can you go over before we wrap up? Before we wrap up, is there anything else you'd want to add or talk about any other topic or subject?
No, I think we've covered a lot of good stuff in this talk.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that you
Man, I really appreciate this has been a great conversation, man. I'm trying to process a lot of what you said is so real, and the way you put it is so beautiful. Even more beautiful than your hair, man. Holy shit! Like I'm not a gay guy, but I fucking love your hair. But I'm not even gay, dude. And I love your hair. Like you could probably sell your hair and make so much money and never have to go to school again.
Yeah, it's like my mom just like the last time she video called me, she was so pissed that I didn't cut my hair, and she's like, "Don't talk to me ever again if you won't cut your hair."
Oh my
So,
god,
like, yeah, fuck
dude,
you.
hair is fucking money, man. Jesus Christ, that's an investment in your future, even if it's just next week, you know.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, please. How can people find you? What's your handle on all your platforms?
On Reddit, my name is Blaise Deb, BLAISEDEB, and on YouTube it's Efil Blaise, and on Facebook it's Blaise AK. And
Okay,
that's
Blaise, aka
all
like
the.
Alaska. I'm
Sorry?
sorry. What was the last thing you said after Facebook?
I think that's all the platforms that I interact on. Nothing
Oh,
else.
okay.
Nothing else.
Okay, no Twitter, Instagram.
No. No Instagram, no Twitter, just Facebook, Blaise AK, YouTube, and Reddit.
So yeah, I hope folks check out your channel, and it's really good, man. Like I said, I just I watched a few glimpses of a couple episodes just to check out your channel and all. But man, I hope we can come on again, and anytime you want to come on collapsing with Casey, dude, you're always welcome. And
this is great.
Oh, man, thank you so much, dude. This is heavy. Holy fucking heavy shit, dude. Like I said earlier, you know, you gotta fucking to tell the truth and talk the truth. You gotta fucking wash it down with some liquid courage to fuck, man. It's, you know, the reality is not good, but I think it's beautiful that that people can can see the truth and admit the truth, that even how fucked up it is, own it,
Yeah.
and talk about it intelligently. I think is the most beautiful thing that's all we are really capable of at this point. Is all we have left at this point, I think.
Yeah. And do some of your escapisms, like drinking and smoking. Like I smoke too. Like it's good to escape the reality every now and then to keep yourself sane, right?
Yes.
Otherwise, if you just keep thinking about this all of the time, you're gonna go insane.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You need to watch it down.
It's tough, man. It is tough. Oh man. So yeah, you know, I met Blaise through our private Collapsing with Casey Tuesday Zooms. We had a big one. We had a big topic to go over last week. We're going to continue that topic into tomorrow's private Zoom. So anybody that's interested in that, if you're not on my email list, jump on there. Email me at practicetrack@yahoo.com. It's practice like a dental practice, track like a racetrack.
Yeah.
At
The
yahoo.com.
Zooms are amazing. Like they it's like I'm gonna be honest. It felt like family to me because I was like I felt
We
feel
did with
alone
you
in these
too,
talks.
man. Yeah.
And you
I
come
was,
over here and everybody's like, like you can say whatever you want and you don't have to be like, oh, they're gonna be like, oh, that's weird
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, there's no taboo subject on our channel unless it's, truly disgusting. Like we talk about war, obviously it's anti-war because that's the right action, right? It's all right action. And unfortunately, we live in a world that right action is fucking taboo. Whether you want to medicate, or anything that should be good and welcome and and nourished is taboo.
Yeah.
I
They just
don't
can't
understand.
hack it. They just can't hack it.
I mean, you just gotta laugh at how stupid it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I love our Zooms, man. Thank you for joining. And
Yeah.
if it helps anyone, it helps me. That's why I do it, because I am able to get stuff off my chest with other intelligent and like-minded people I will never meet or get to hang out with in any other platform, because we're such a rare. I like to say that we're the 1%. We're the equal and opposite of the evil and rich 1%. We're the 1% that knows kind of exactly what they're up to, and we have to fight amongst that within ourselves. Of course, we can't beat them. We never will. We never have. History proves that, and that's why we're going extinct so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I'll close it out with a Wesley Willis. I think my Friday live stream was pretty messed up because I was out in the woods, so I don't think it went through. So I'll close it out the same. First, thank you, Blaise. Again, dude, I can't even believe what we just talked about and what you just said, and I'll be processing this for a very long time because this is heavy. Yeah, my tribute to Wesley Willis as we close out. Man, rock for London, walk on realist.
Yeah.
Budweiser, I'm proud to be your bud. That can be taken many different ways when we talk about Blaise. Thanks again, Blaise. I'll see you soon.
I really
Good night, everybody in the chat. Everyone in Collapsing with Casey. Thank you guys so much, and have a look at Efil's channel. We're gonna hopefully do a lot more. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, Blaise. Good night.